I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Would you like to tell Lena you're Supergirl on your own terms? Would you like to see what the world would look like if you could control the narrative? Imagine what we could do together, a Luther and a Super. Together, how would the world work? Well, every party needs a pooper, and in this world, it's Kara. That's right, we're talking CW Supergirl Season 5, Episode 13. It's a super life, all things Supergirl. This episode was hot. Finally, we get the episode, not the one we need, but the one we deserve. Did I say that one right? Did I do that right?
Not the hero you needed, but the hero you deserve.
Exactly, and in the booth. I knew it's one of them. In the booth, what's your Instagram there?
Yeah, my name is Ryan Nilsson.
What?
And
Are
I
you
run
sure?
the Tehran Supergirl After Show Instagram.
That's
Follow
right.
For all the insider scoop.
That's who he is. And of course, I'm Tehran. I will be hosting and paneling on this CW Supergirl Season 5, Episode 13. It's a Super Life. We are talking all things Supergirl on this episode. Amazing. Fun. Great. I'm not a fan of these flashbacky dream sequence shows at all. That's not my thing. But this episode takes the cake. I'll tell you why. Of course, we get the sighting by Mr. Mitzpalik himself. Mixie is there. They use Mixie and so will I. And I'm sure it's because it's difficult to say Mitzpalik so many times in a row very fast. It's great to see how it worked, especially Tom Lennon did an amazing job. We will be breaking the episode down in its entirety simply because of take 1, take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5. Of course, when I say that, I mean the different takes we have of the different incarnations of the universe, what it would look like in different segments of if Kara had revealed or not revealed herself to Lena. Because of course, the overall theme of Supergirl since last season has been Kara didn't tell Lena that she was Supergirl. Lena's heartbroken about it, how it affects their friendship. That has always been the underlying theme. As the audience, we've been annoyed by it. We've been frustrated by it. We've been amused by it. We've been enthused by it. But this is the episode that makes you all of these things all into one. Of course, it's a Super Life, a play on It's a Wonderful Life, which has a lot to do with the way the show was shaped. So we get take 1, Lena went to see Sam. Take 2, the fight at the DEO. These are different portions in their friendship, Lena and Kara's friendships, in which we go and we're going to break down each one. Take 3, the fight with Sam at the house. So when we get to the house, and of course the mother's involved, that fight. Take 4, when Lena and Kara become friends, that moment, we fast forward to it's too soon to write about that Goldilocks moment when they're right about to become friends. And of course, Kara reveals herself then. Then take 5, if there was no friendship at all, that was almost the most dangerous scenario simply because of how the Lena character became the supervillain we've always assumed she was. And then we see that Kara finally is reconciled with her guilt over not telling Lena that the world we live in now, the timeline right now, this block theory of time is the most feasible and the safest for all because of the consequences versus the benefits of each single outcome. And that was a lot of fun to see. Of course, we have a special segment, Supergirl, where we choose a woman who is changing the world today in the real world. So it's great to have that play as well. And we have some news and gossip and of course our predictions as we go into the next episode, which won't be airing until March 8th. So remember that, everybody. No episode until March 8th. That's a big one. Every now and then we get caught off guard with when is Supergirl coming out next. We have a week off and then we'll be right back in. So we're getting to all of that and more. Ryan, still in the booth?
Dude, alive and well. Just hoping to have an amazing show tonight. Got a ton of media.
Of course it's an amazing show. We have this amazing episode to look at. Overall thoughts. I will say this. As a person who's not a fan of the dream sequence, of the throwaways, I feel like sometimes these kind of shows can be fillers, especially this seemed to be a nod to Captain Picard and Q. Anytime you have that guy who can snap his fingers and make things happen, And when I mean Captain Picard and Q, of course, I mean Star Trek: The Next Generation. Another sci-fi, has nothing to do with this, but that relationship, whenever we have Mixie in the mix, it kind of plays to that, especially in this episode. However, in this episode, we get to see a lot of people come back. I mean, it was a fun-filled episode. It's great to know there's no consequences to a lot of it. Tom Lennon did an amazing job. Not that we didn't like the Peter Gadio who played, but it was like a little more tame, a little nicer, sweeter Mitsopitalik. I'm just gonna call Mixie. So it was nice to see that. It was a little more, it was unantagonistic. It was unaggressive. And this reformed Mixie who comes into play, actually trying to be helpful. We see come back, and it's just a way to get all these different takes of, hey, Kara, get over this Lena thing. Because as an audience, we've been tired of it. Kara always blaming herself and letting Lena off the hook for everything. And at the end of this episode, the biggest part was, of course, the fact that we finally have the realization on Kara's part that everything that Lena does is her own doing. She does not need to feel guilty anymore. And I think because of that, now we can push this season forward at a much better, faster, more inclined towards the audience rate. Because honestly, I was very frustrated with that Lena storyline. And I've brought it up several times where I said, Lena, just get over it. Kara was protecting you. Or at least, Kara's a good person. It's not like Supergirl. It's not like Kara Danvers was secretly a serial killer and never told you and put you in harm's way. This is a person who kept saving the world and saving you, and you liked Kara and you liked Supergirl. You liked both of them. So now you realize that they're 2-in-1. You get a 2-in-1 deal on friendship. Who wouldn't want to be best friends with Supergirl? We also get a lot of other characters that come back in this episode. We get a lot of people who we've been missing. Of course, we get to see Chris Wood. We get to see Supergirl's real life husband, Chris Wood, as Mon-El. Mon-El was back in action. That was great. We get to see the old Win, like Jeremy Jordan was in. Win was there. Odette Annabelle, who played Rain. That storyline, which was a great storyline, coming back. And of course, we get one of my favorite villains in the Supergirl universe. We get Ben Lockwood. So we get Ben Lockwood, Sam Witwer as Ben Lockwood. We get that character, Liberty.
Big fan.
Yeah, it was great to see that play out. And it's great to see all the little things. We get a bit of all the old footage that we go through and compile. So this was a very exciting and fun episode. And I feel that that's the best way to put it. Yes, was it filler? Yes, but was it much needed, necessary filler? And the answer to that is a resounding yes as well. Fun times. Now, we've seen this play out in this way. It's good to see Mixie. We got that nod last week. Going into this week, we didn't know what to expect, and you never should. You should never expect. You should never know what to expect when you have a being from the fifth dimension who can basically bend reality to their will in play, because their logic is so beyond ours and their powers are so much greater than ours. They create their own games. And now we see that Mixie is stuck in a game in which Mixie must atone for all his past misdeeds and comes back in a new form. A new form, has to prove it to Kara, proves it with the footage. Says basically gives the offer of a lifetime. You regret this moment, as we see Kara specifically talking about that moment again, why she basically let Lena down, didn't tell her the truth. She wishes she could change it. And the genie appears out of the bottle and says, I can help you change that. We can watch from the safety of your home. Usually the genie only gives you one wish and 3 wishes tops, and you have to deal with it. But Mixie basically says, you can see every single moment. We'll figure it out together. I'm here to help. We're going to find out where the best time is for you to tell Lena that you are Kara Danvers and Supergirl. When's the best time? So we get 5 overall takes. 5 overall takes. Let's see. Snaps, Alex and John into their happy place, which is paintball fighting, right? So we get 5 takes. The first one is going to be before Mercy attack. We're going to go to when Lena went to see Sam. Basically at the moment where they're splitting her from Raim and saving her life. And Sam, of course, being this incarnation of this crazy Kryptonian coming back, great character, missed that character. And we see, nope, that's not the way to see it. That's not the way to go. Not going to work. That is a horrible place to try to tell Lena. Lena goes right into the, where were you? You could have helped me. This hurts my heart. Right back into that moment. And I don't know what it is about Lena, but I will say this. I believe that Lena has the ability to cry on command. If Katie McGrath doesn't win some type of award because she just always looks like she's sad and in her feelings, it is the craziest thing. She could be smiling and the very next second, eyes are watery, tears, palms sweaty, the whole Eminem effect comes out. I mean, I don't understand how she's able to do so on command. She's just always ready to go. So we get this take 1, no good. We all expected that. We all expected take 1 not to work out. It's got to not work out. Can't just get the first one. And I really liked, and here's the important thing. I really liked the way they showed the TV screen because that works much better. We've seen, by the way, we've definitely seen this kind of take, not only on other shows, but very recently in the Arrowverse. We've seen it on Arrow's episode of Invasion. I think it was Invasion. And we saw it on The Flash with the What's Past is Prologue, that episode. So we've seen this kind of thing, and it happens to always be at a milestone. So here we get into it as well, and it's never the first take. The first take's never going to be the one. We get take 2. That's the fight at the DEO. Great scene, taking us right back. We're in the 3rd season. We're getting this fight at the DEO. It's about the kryptonite. We got to get rid of all the 2nd season. We got to get rid of all the kryptonite. Lena, basically, because of this, doesn't want to fight the world killers, and Kara dies. I'm talking about the consequences are so heavy each and every time we have a flashback. Every single time, there's got to be something that goes wrong. And with the consequences being in the first one that, basically can't save Rain, everyone dies. I mean, it just gets worse. It never gets better. Each single time, it keeps getting worse. And I loved how Mixie said, we're not going to rely on you. We're not going to rely on you anymore because your memory doesn't work. So on the first one, the kryptonite bomb goes off. Lena's too far away talking to Sam, can't save Kara. That's how that worked out, right? Because Lena was at hand, was able to get to the DEO, and was able to save Kara. If everything plays out differently, a domino effect in the timeline, and it's always crazy when you disturb the timeline, one little thing, it's a butterfly effect. The ripple becomes the wave. So one little thing affects every other thing. Lena goes off, goes to Metropolis, is meeting with Sam, not back in time to save Kara. Kara dies. Take 2. Get the fight at the DEO. It's over the kryptonite. You need to get rid of all the kryptonite. She reveals herself then. Go right back into, now Lena doesn't want to fight the world killers. So the sun eclipse takes Lena out. That's take 2. Mixie says, we're not going to rely on your memory anymore because you clearly can't remember all the events. We're going to start going to the net. They go to their little laptop. He's looking through the footage. We get to see great footage of everything that's playing out. Now, something they did extremely well on this week's episode is when we went into the takes, they had to duplicate everything exactly as before, and they were able to do so. Actors age, people look different, feel different, act different, but they did an exceptional job of taking us right back into the action in the midst of things, including bringing in the actors who we hadn't seen for a long time, getting them back in the mix and getting us back in their feel and in that mode. Here we get take 3. Now, take 3 is very important because it's the fight with Sam at the house. They didn't defeat Pestilence. Now, Lena hit Sam without the kryptonite. That's where the kryptonite was going to split Rain from Sam, bringing Sam back because Sam is a close friend of Lena. Hit Sam without the kryptonite. It doesn't work. Sam, as Rain, takes out Lena, kills Lena, takes out Mon-El as they're struggling. That's a horrible situation. A horrible situation for Kara. One of the best tidbits, however, was Mixie said, I never saw what you saw in him regarding to Mon-El, who of course we know as is Chris Woods, who is actually in real life married to Melissa Benoist, who's playing Supergirl. So it was a very good nod, breaking that fourth wall and letting us at home all know. I never knew what you saw in him, especially because the first time we saw Mixie was Mixie basically chasing after Kara in a romantic way, where he's apologized, by the way. He apologized in take 5 where he said, I misread the room. I'm so sorry, as he shakes Mon-El's hand. Now, we get these different takes. We're seeing each one, basically the ghost of future past, like the ghost of the past, ghost of the present, ghost of the future. Very similar to that. We understand the It's a Wonderful Life, giving you value, giving you meaning to your life. That's how it's supposed to play out. We're looking at each time that the timeline is messed with, the consequences outweigh the benefits, and there was nothing you could have done. Something you all could do, of course, is each and every one of you at home, we appreciate your comments. We love your shares and subscribes and your likes. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, give us that 5 stars we so greatly deserve. Thank you so much for making us the best Supergirl after show in the world. Not my opinion, that's all of you. Keep those comments coming, especially on iTunes. If you're listening to us on iTunes, give us those comments. It raises us in the searches, and we appreciate you. Remember, at home, you are all, if not as much more so a part of this panel than each and every one of us. I value your feedback, so thank you so much for making us the ESPN of TV talk. That's Ryan's contribution. So, we have 2 more takes. Take 4. Take 4. We've gone to the tape. We're going through, we're zooming through, and I like the fact that we went to the beta mix. We get little tapes, and it's on beta, not VHS, because beta is better. The one where Lena moves to National City, a very mixy thing to do. The one where Supergirl and Lena fight the nanobot lady. The one where Lillian admits she loves Lena. We get these little titles on each one of the tapes. So here we are at take 4. At the moment where Lena and Kara become friends. That's the moment where Kara is absolutely sure this is where it's the best time to reveal to Lena. They even go back to where they met. It's too soon. See other places, not the right time. Here, Kara goes in to the diatribe. I am here. I trust you. I want to start. I know you've been hurt. Let me show you who I really am. Let's change the world. Says the line, imagine what we could do together, a Luthor and a Super. My cousin and your brother got it wrong. Let's do this together. And they team up, and the world looks amazing. The headlines come pouring in. It's Mixie reads them one after another. Headlines come pouring in. Saving the world, fixing all the world's problems. We're talking about a utopia of some sorts. However, those ripples, basically Lena comes in and says, I didn't come to make friends, changes her mind, we get this, and then what happens? The ripple effect starts happening. So they're saving the world, Supergirl is being worshipped, we get this Rao cult that forms, they're worshiping her. Ben Lockwood comes, meets Lena, basically says, my family jumped off the roof thinking Supergirl was going to save them. This is a rite of passage in the cult. Colville is leading this cult. You ruined my life. Once again, Ben Lockwood. Ben Lockwood, by the way, destined to just have a horrible life. I just feel like this guy's destined, no matter, can't get away from aliens ruining this guy's life. He's just stuck in that destiny. That's how it works for him. So he basically kidnaps Lena, gives her and Colville an hour of breathable oxygen. That's it. An hour of breathable oxygen. And what are we supposed to do with that? Of course, Supergirl has to reveal. And if you remember, this is something that's very similar in The Dark Knight, where the Joker basically says, I need Batman to reveal who he is. These secret identities are just killing people. I don't know why. I don't know why people don't just assume that they are who they are all the time. People always assume they have a secret identity, which of course they do. But why do people care so much? I've never understood. So we get this play on the concept of, you have to reveal your identity. We need to hear it. So what happens? Kara reveals her identity, saves Lena, gets the location. Ben Lockwood, true to his word, gives her the location, saves. Kara reveals her identity. Remember, all this great stuff has happened. They've saved the world multiple times. Kara reveals her identity. People go after her loved ones and literally kill everyone she loves because of that. The people, the dissenters, the people who disliked her, they went after every single person that she loved and killed them. So now we're looking at possibly the worst of all of these outcomes, because sheesh, to kill every single person that you love, wow, like it doesn't get worse. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Honestly, if someone killed Ryan,
what would you do?
I would be ecstatic. But that's different. You know, it's the people that you love, not the people that you disdain. So it's fine. Ryan, I love you, man. You're my brother.
Love you, dude.
You're my dude. Hey, if someone tried to kill you,
Yeah.
you know what I would do.
You'd pay for the funeral.
Yeah, no. Funerals are kind of costly. So here's the thing. But I would think about it, bro. I would think about it.
You'd think about it.
Yeah, I would start a GoFundMe. For sure.
Yes, like a seed and spark.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. 95%.
Donate. Comments below.
Yeah. So here we get take 4. So then take 5 is, I've tried every possible place. I tried on the plane. I tried in the office. She sees these flashbacks of all the horrible places where it's happened. So she's tried in all these places. She's like, where am I supposed to do this? You know what? I hate to admit this, but maybe I shouldn't be friends with Lena at all. No friendship. That way Lena can never get hurt. We have no friendship, no interaction. So we go to this world, and this one, they go in themselves. Mixie's there. Now, of course, Mixie has no powers because somehow Lena is utilizing the 5th dimension, tapping into his powers to run these sentinels, these Lexo suits that are basically everything's court martial law, she is just Big Brother all over the place, keeping the world safe, but one oppression at a time. That's just how it works. No 5th dimension. We start off, there's no loft. The loft is destroyed. Kara's a terrorist. Supergirl's a terrorist. Brainy got captured, has no emotions, which is kind of all over reminiscent to the kind of Brainy that we have going on right now, which everyone should be paying attention. Hey, Brainy's the key to a lot of things. We're going to get to that in predictions. A lot of things are playing out because of Brainy. Lockwood's, here we have no emotion, evil Brainy. And then Lena, Supergirl goes after Lena, and Lena has the Metallo heart, the kryptonite heart, because Supergirl wasn't there to help her. Then Lillian took her and experimented on her, brought her back. She's different. She's horrible. She's a supervillain. John kills Rain. I mean, it's just a bad outcome. And just as Supergirl's about to die, Mitzi finds the hat, and it's great to have the reference to the hat. The hat taps into 5th dimension powers, and boom, we get right back on the sofa, and Kara finally realizes that it was not worth it. All of these different outcomes are worse than the one that happens now. And this is a superhero fallacy. Everything has to be perfect. Like, I need to save the entire day. Nothing can be wrong. Everything has to be great. That's the fallacy. Oftentimes in life, we are choosing between the lesser of two evils a lot of times. And in this one, Kara, you don't get to have the perfect day. You just have to deal with the fact that you hurt Lena, and it's okay. And we get that realization. Finally, thankfully, we get this realization, and Lena gets a visit by Kara. Kara says, Kara's finally done with it. I've tried. It's all in the past. Nothing I can do about it now. And from now on, you are accountable for all of your actions. You want to work with your brother, that's fine. Just remember that I'm going to treat you like any other villain. And their friendship and this guilt and the suppression and all the burden that Kara had been keeping on herself is finally relieved. And that's what I'm excited to see. The end of the guilt-ridden Kara, the one who's like, I can't believe I'm doing this, to the point where she even says to John, if something happens, I don't know if I'll be able to do what's necessary. Well, now we know she's willing to do what's necessary. I don't know if that's a foreshadow or not. We will get to that in predictions as well. But it was great to see the end outcome. Of course, the one we expected. However, the way she was able to release her burden and give herself relief, and therefore all of us as the audience, because honestly, it was getting to that point where I could not do it anymore. I could not deal with the concept of Kara just being so distraught over hurting Lena and Lena being so hurt in the first place. It was very, very painful to see at times because it was unnecessary. It was an unnecessary force. Now we know with Lena, whatever she does now is on her own. Great to see this episode. Ryan, what were your thoughts on this episode?
This episode, I think, changes the game for the CW Supergirl after show because for once in a while, Tehran actually went to me in the booth to ask my opinion on it. So therefore, I think it's really something special.
If you're listening to us on iTunes, that wasn't me just being silent. That was me giving the stale face. That was me literally giving the stale face. Let's go to the Supergirl special segment, shall we? This week's Supergirl is going to be a person who is changing the world as Batwoman, superhero, Australian supermodel, actress, television hosts, and more. Ruby Rose. Yes, Ruby Rose, born Ruby Rose Langenheim, the Australian who is now currently playing Kate Kane and Batwoman. We love ourselves some Ruby Rose. You've seen Ruby on many different things. I mean, you knew she was on Orange is the New Black, Resident Evil, John Wick, the second one. She did the Triple X, not the good one, but the second one as well. But here she is, Ruby Rose. If you don't know about her, she's born in Melbourne. Definitely a creative. We all know about her simply because she's a prominent member in the LGBTQ community who speaks out. She came out as lesbian at the age of 12, and because of her sexuality, she dealt with taunts and bullying and speaks out against that. And she actually speaks openly about her suicide attempt. She was also abused as a child and speaks about her mental issues, which are actually just a natural outcome and something where she speaks about them to a point to let people know you are not alone. You can relate with her disorders of bipolar disorder and clinical depression, which she feels she fights a good battle every single day and doesn't see herself as a victim, but as a survivor. And more importantly, as a person who's just dealing with problems that we all have. We all have problems. So it's just different. And the concept of how she talks openly about childhood, gender nonconformity, and she talks about wanting to be a boy while growing up. All these things are coming to play as she says she's gender fluid. Ruby Rose using the pronoun she personally, but can also utilize they. And therefore we see that Ruby is this outspoken person, especially in the limelight. It's very important for people to use their platforms and their voices. And so it's great to see her utilizing these platforms. Yes, she's a vegan. I won't hold that against her, but good for her. And she's a vegan because she wants to help climate change, because she wants to help. She's got a heart for animals, and that's what's really important. She speaks up, and she speaks up about these in every single time. It's great to see this to see how she leads the LGBTQ community. She also, and she spoke up about it in Entertainment Weekly. She has a charity that she actually helps with children who are gender fluid, and she helps them be able to relate to one another and know that they're not alone. Very important. Specifically, she identifies as a woman, but she says that being gender fluid means that she can't identify as a woman at any point. Then I guess I can't be that. She gets to choose, and she takes that power upon herself. And that's what being a Supergirl is all about, is empowerment, especially in that space. So thank you very much, Ruby Rose. Can we get into some news and gossip, shall we?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Supergirl! If you watched this episode, you saw that Mr. Mxyzptlk looks different. Well, we got Tom Lennon. Tom Lennon, who is amazing, by the way. You've seen Tom Lennon. Tom Lennon is... he's hilarious. Like, let's not play like Tom Lennon's not hilarious and a character we don't see all the time in different shows. We saw, of course, an Odd Couple, Pacifier, Balls of Fury, even the Baywatch movie. We get to see Night at the Museum. Tom Lennon is a classic. This is in that crew, that Will Ferrell crew. They're all great improv, and it's amazing as an actor and a performer. But why? Is it because we dislike the old guy? No, we did not. We didn't hate him. What they just wanted is they wanted someone a little more, and they quote, and I quote from Jessica Quiller, the showrunner, "We knew that we wanted to redeem Mxyzptlk from the previous incarnation, and we felt that we wanted him to come and apologize for his bad behavior to Kara and make amends. So that was part of recasting and have him appear in a more benign and contrite and charming form. Not that the previous actor wasn't charming, the character was a little bit malevolent. Then we just got so blessed with the casting of Tom Lennon, who is magic himself." So it's good to see. There are no hard feelings. However, we've moved into a different direction. We get this Tom Lennon character, and who wouldn't take Tom Lennon? That's a great cast. So thank you so much. Read the article on CBR.com. Supergirl, why Mr. Mxyzptlk looks so different. If we can jump into some predictions, shall we?
Your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Well, the crystal ball says that we're finally getting past that Lena storyline, and now we can get to the meat. I think that the speech that Kara gives Lena is going to push her towards Lex in the beginning, but finally redeem herself on her own, because she did not like that "I will treat you like a villain" line. You could tell in Lena's demeanor. So we're not going to want Lena to be a villain. She's not going to want it either. She does know she's a good person. She is not a Luthor in that sense. That we're going to see as well. Now, I also think we got a little bit of a nod to the concept of Super Friends. I think we're going to see a little more of the Super Friends develop as this storyline unfolds. Now that we've moved past that, we're going to get into, and we're going to need this Leviathan push that they've been heralding throughout the entirety of the crossover past with Luthor coming into the new universe. So we're going to get the Leviathan versus the Luthor. Brainy's going to get found out. There's no way Brainy can sneak around the DEO as much especially now that he's in charge. Brainy's going to get found out by the Super Friends, and that's going to cause tension going into not trusting Luthor, going into Luthor's battle with Leviathan. And I think, and I'm saying this, and this is going to sound crazy, but everyone's going to be on the same side, meaning Lex Luthor and Supergirl will be teaming up. That is my prediction. And if you don't know who I am, let me tell you. You can find me at I Am Tehran all across the board. That's IAMTEHRAN. And of course, hosting on a slew of other AfterBuzz after shows, because all of your favorite TV shows are my favorite TV shows too. I mean, look at this. I watch what you watch. Ryan, where can people find you?
You can find me at Ryan Nilsson on Twitter. You can find me at Supergirl Tehran on Twitter.
Even better. Thank you so much, Ryan Nilsson. I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next week, as we talk more CW Supergirl. 2 weeks, we'll be back after March 8th for the episode CW Supergirl Season 5, Up, Up, and Away.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.